Good morning, guys. Welcome back to One Pretty Little Box. I have not even gotten ready for the day, but I kind of wanted to do something different for a video for you. Something I want to kind of start working on this year is my writing platform. I have not shared a whole lot about the books I have written. I kind of gave a couple teases here and there, but I think what I'm going to do is first, this is the very first book I wrote. It's You Are More. That is me. I did self-publish it. But I thought I would read a little bit out of each chapter. Maybe here and there throughout the month of January, which it's already the middle. So I think I'll read a little bit out of each chapter until we finish this book, and then we'll go on to the second one, which is really kind of small anyway. And I don't even think I broke it down into chapters. I don't know. I'll have to look. But I'm sitting here with my coffee. And yes, this is a Christmas mug. But if you guys know that my word for the year is joy. And so I thought, well, I'm going to leave it out all year. And I'm going to sip out of it every morning to remind me that we are to be the joy of the world, you know? We bring joy to the world whenever we have that inner peace within us. Oh my gosh, I see cobwebs I need to get rid of. Anywho, I kind of was a little frustrated this morning as I'm sitting flipping through some of the channels I subscribe to. And I see, and I know I've talked about this kind of briefly, but I see so many almost selling out to be just like someone else, and it hurts my heart that they're not uncomfortable enough to be their authentic self. And then I realized, why am I getting so flustered? What is it that bothers me? And I realized it's because I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the kind of person here to use my channel to just be something that someone else is doing. I want to be authentic. I want to be myself. I want to share that with you. I'm quirky. I'm different. The way I run my home is different than a lot of people. The way my family is different than a lot of people. Many people tell us my teenagers are so different than nor other teenagers. And it's just because through my whole adult life, I have been authentic in my parenting. I go with what's in my heart, not what someone else is telling me to do, not what someone else is telling me I should be, not what society says I should be. I'm just me, and I follow what I believe. Thankfully, my husband and I are on the same page on that, and it does make us unique, and it does make us different. So, and it kind of goes into this book. I didn't plan it that way at all. I'm not reading off a script, which I hope you guys can tell. But this book, You Are More, I wrote because I wanted to encourage and inspire women, because that's usually my audience. But really, it can go for anyone, that you are more. You are so much more than what you could imagine that you are. Some of us label ourselves as we're a homemaker. Well, you're so much more than that. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a positive way. And I hope that I can encourage you throughout 2018 to realize that you are so much more, and you have so much more potential than you're even touching, that you're even tapping. And if we would all just kind of get a hold of that and deal with those things ourselves, we would be more authentic in our living, in our sharing, and other people would actually probably be moved and inspired and motivated by our own authenticity, that they go seek out theirs. And that truly is one of my deep heart goals for the year. One reason I'm doing the workshop that I kind of shared about yesterday, that's why I stopped vlogging on this camera, it's because it goes crazy. That's why I shared the workshop, and why I'm going to do a 6-week workshop, teaching other people how to set goals, and not just set them, but to actually get them, because I'm going to teach the tools that it takes to get there, no matter what goal you set. All right, so we're going to jump in. This book is about 4 women and how they come together. it's funny because when I was writing this book, I have people in my mind for each character. And it's just interesting as I see these characters evolve. Even as I was writing it, they kind of took off on their own. And each time I write a fictional book, that's what happens. And it's like, I almost don't even know what's going to happen next until I get to writing, because it just takes its place. It just kind of happens like you're watching a movie, except I'm writing it and I'm like, whoa, what did she just say? You know, it's fun. That's just the creative side. So in chapter 1, it kind of opens up a little bit, and I am going to kind of just jump in here. I'm going to jump in here. I'm actually going to start in chapter 1 at the first page because it's kind of cool. And so when Shannon pulled into the parking lot at the Java Hut, she glanced at the time at the dash of her Explorer. The oldest of her children would be home from school in an hour. This would give her just enough time to grab a caramel latte and browse through the new bookstore that had just opened next door. "Hello, Miss Davis. It's nice to see you again," greeted the barista behind the counter. "I'm amazed that you remember my name. We haven't lived here that long, and to be honest, I don't come in here very often." "One thing I've always been good at is remembering names. Plus, my granddaughter Michaela goes to the preschool where you work. My name is Corinne, and what can I get for you?" "A small caramel latte, please. Michaela is such a cutie pie." Shannon's husband John always teased her for ordering the caramel latte because it always reminded him of her skin. She had the most beautiful caramel-colored skin. Her mother was more dark-skinned, but Shannon always loved her smooth caramel complexion. That, coupled with a cute short haircut, made her one of the snazziest preschool teachers she knew. $3.75, please. "Yes, she is, but I am pretty partial," Corinne said with a giggle. Her blue eyes were the softest pat on her face. The softest should have been softest part of her face. With her stark white hair, her blue eyes were always breathtaking. Her granddaughter is the reason she can get out of bed every morning, but she wouldn't dare say that out loud. Shannon paid for her coffee, thanked Corinne for her kindness. One thing she must remember is that Java Hut wasn't too busy right after work. That for sure will come in handy in the cooler autumn days that are soon on their way. As you leave, there is a community board by the door with various events posted right on the right-hand side. "There is a new book study that I'm leading that is about to start, and I would love for you to come," Corinne said. "Thanks, Corinne. I'll check it out. Have a great afternoon." Shannon thought it was so endearing that a small town would have something as sweet as community events, advertised in a local coffee shop. So small town cliche, but she loved that. Shannon's eyes fell immediately onto what Corinne was talking about. She couldn't help but feel her breath catch in the depths of her lungs, something reach out and grab her from the inside out. Feeling overwhelmed with trying to get it all done and be able to still have something left to give at the end of the day, join me on Tuesdays for an hour for coffee, fellowship, and a look on how we can learn to actually live life and not just survive it while we read and discuss a good book together. Living with purpose, going beyond survival, is just a thing to help us all jump ahead of the holiday season that tends to overwhelm even Santa. Call Corinne and RSVP today. Shannon glanced at the date and she realized that group hadn't started, but it would next week. Perfect timing. God must have really been listening to her heart lately. Not only did she feel like she met a new friend, she has been feeling like she has been simply treading water to stay alive lately. Maybe this move for her family was the start of a new thing. Moving to a safer school district, neighborhood was the main reason, but the small town community had really made her feel like she took a step back in time. She pulled out one of the flyers and continued out the door to the book nook, which was just past the next door. Shannon loved this about Cotton Lake. It's not like they moved far, but it sure seemed like a world away. As she walked in, she was greeted with a wonderful smell of new books, just waiting to be explored, fondled, given a new home. Ever since Shannon was a little girl, she loved to read. For her, it was an escape from the real life into a place of peace, safety, and a way to feel like she escaped. A way to she felt accepted. Oh my gosh, I can't read. Her home life growing up wasn't always the safest, nor the kindest environment. So as an adult, she really strived to make sure her kids felt loved, accepted, and wanted, no matter what. Welcome to the Book Nook. My name is Kelly. Is there anything in particular I can help you find today? Hi. I was just going to look around, but now that I have this, there are a few things I need to grab while I'm here. Shannon waved the book club flyer and smiles as her eyes take in the walls and the shelves full of treasures. Oh yes, I saw that yesterday at the Java Hut. It sounded just like what I need. Glad to know I'm not the only one who feels like a ship that is barely staying afloat. So besides the book, what else do you think you're going to need? Said Kelly. Kelly shared a little bit more than she normally would upon meeting someone new. For a long time, she kept to herself because she was shy and afraid to say the wrong thing. Growing up, Kelly kept her long brown... I'm smiling because I know who this person I wrote it after. Kept her brown hair long because she was afraid anyone noticing her features. It wasn't until college that she began to let go and loosen up a bit. Her green eyes now can't be hidden. But of course, she was in her element here at the bookstore. Yes, the book for sure. Maybe a new journal, and my husband loves Michael Painter books. Does he have anything new out? Shannon said, sipping the luscious latte. Caramel is for sure one of her favorites. Too many more of these, and she's going to need to take up running again. I think he does, actually. Why don't you look around, and I'll gather these things for you, Kelly said with a smile. Within 20 minutes, Shannon was leaving the bookstore feeling more refreshed, and recharged than she has in a long time. She was feeling hopeful, encouraged, and in some ways challenged. Not only had her prayer been answered of why she was feeling so overwhelmed lately, she also met a couple of neat ladies. One day, maybe even someone she could call friends. Later that evening, after her kids' homework was complete, dinner was consumed, and the kitchen was cleaned, Shannon sat down and talked to her husband, John. His strong jaw, dark skin, soft goatee still made her insides rev up. John was handsome. Oh my gosh. I went to the Java Hut today, and guess what? I saw a listing for a ladies' book study that meets on Tuesday afternoons. Do you mind if I join in? Shannon may have already bought the book, but if John had any reason for her to not go, she would just read the book on her own. I think it's a great idea. Will you be here when the kids get home? John usually didn't have a problem with Shannon joining ladies get-ups or other activities that got her involved in the community. Yes, actually. It starts after I get off work, and it's for an hour. Maddie doesn't get home from school until almost 4. One thing she loved about her career was that she enjoyed and allowed it. One thing she loved was that she had a career that she enjoyed and allowed her to be around for her family when they needed her. Well, then it sounds like you have a chance to make some new friends. John hugged his wife, squeezed her shoulders. Thanks for the new book. I just finished the last one he wrote and wondered what I would read next. Perfect timing, babe. John winked at Shannon with a twinkle in his eye. Shannon left the room to finish laundry, get the kids' stuff ready for the next day, and to set out her running clothes for an early morning run. Now that they were settled into their new home, it was time to get into a solid running routine. It never failed. Once she got a good routine going, something always seemed to stop her. Sadly, many times it was herself. Many times Shannon was her own worst enemy, never truly accepting of who she was at that moment, always longing to be someone other than herself. Sadly, it was probably why she always felt like she was barely keeping up. If she could figure out where it all stemmed from, she could stop it. For years, Shannon had held herself back from doing the things she longed to do and becoming to do and become, because either she was afraid of disappointing others or being rejected because she did not fit into someone's ideal of what she should be. I think I'm going to stop there. Well, let me finish this little piece. Before this afternoon, she had not given this another thought, at least not lately. In fact, she could almost say that she was purposely staying busy to avoid confronting this feeling of longing for more in life than simply making it day to day. In fact, Shannon did not realize it, but living is not what she had been doing. No, she was simply surviving, like a prisoner with days running behind one another, and her just moving forward doing the motions with no purpose whatsoever. Was that it? Had Shannon lost her purpose? No, that can't be it. She loved her life. It was full. It was busy. It was, well, now it was no longer enough. What started out as a normal Thursday was ending up anything but normal. I will stop chapter 1 there. This was an experiment for me. 1, sharing with you, but 2, really writing the book when I wrote it. I did go back through after I released. I had the first release, actually, and I went back through and edited it. And some of the errors were corrected. One thing as a writer I've learned is we get better with time. We get better with the more we write, the better we are. The better we're able to catch things and edit and all that good stuff. So that was my baby. Well, thanks for letting me share with you guys. I didn't expect this video to be this long. I do not have a fancy intro. I do not have a fancy outro because I am literally just going to upload this straight onto YouTube. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being authentic. And today, that's my challenge for you. Go be you. Go find out what it is that you're missing. This book is going to teach all of us a whole lot, and me, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, because I know where I was when I wrote this, and it was actually after we first moved in this house, and we've been in this house officially, what is today? The day's the 11th? Oh, we've been in this house officially 5 years. Today was our move-in day in 2013, so nice, exciting. All right, guys, bye. I love you. Thanks for being you. Go be you. Go be the real you. Stop trying to follow footsteps of other people and just go share with the world with who you are. They need you. They need the authentic you.